Hi folks, this is all the fruit, and this morning, while cutting tomatoes for breakfast, I noticed something strange. At first I thought that my tomato is rotten and moldy, but upon closer inspection I noticed that there are actually tiny tomato plants in there. I cut a total of 3 tomatoes, and 2 out of them had small tomato plants. Look, perfectly formed little tomato plants, a little bit squished together because there's not much space inside the tomato, but look, nice stems, nice little leaves, especially this one here. Come on, focus. I don't see roots, but I think they might be buried somewhere in the substrate or in the parent plant. Wait, what is this? Why are tomato seeds sprouting inside the tomatoes? And why doesn't it happen all the time? Well, the process is called Vivipary, or live birth. It's like, it happens, for example, even in sharks, when the eggs sprout inside the shark and the shark gives birth to live pups. In this case, it's called ovovivipary. Well, vivipary occurs in animals, occurs in plants, occurs in humans. We give birth to live babies. In plants, yeah, you have stuff like pears and melons and chayote. Their seeds pretty often germinate inside the plant, and sometimes it happens inside tomatoes. Well, it's interesting to know how and why this happens, and it also has a couple of practical implications. Very important ones, actually. Well, why do tomato seeds sprout inside the plant? Guess it happens with potato too. Potatoes are quite closely related to tomatoes. The question should rather be, why does it not happen? I mean, imagine such a tomato fruit. There's inside, it's warm and moist. There are lots of nutrients, and there is even some space, some air inside. So it's like a perfect greenhouse. So why does not every tomato seed sprout as soon as it's ripe? Well, there are hormones which prevent it from sprouting, and usually how it works is when a fruit is eaten by an animal, some of those hormones are being destroyed in the stomach of the animal. If it's not eaten by an animal, those hormones are being leached out while the seed is lying around on the ground or in the ground and being soaked with rain. So it takes some time for seeds to germinate, but sometimes they germinate too early. Why? Well, it's possible that those hormones run out. Firstly, because the fruit is overripe, or the other option is because there was some trouble, usually some nutrient deficiency or too many nutrients. Well, those tomatoes, they look kind of overripe. Actually, they were salvaged by some friends from some dump. A lot of tomatoes here are being dumped either on the side of the road or somewhere where there are goats, so the goats can eat them. Those were collected on the roadside by some friends, so I guess they are kind of overripe. Also, the hormones can run out when there is too much, too little nitrogen or too much potassium. So maybe those tomatoes were not fertilized properly. There are a lot of different reasons, but it happens in tomatoes. I've seen it once or twice. Now, what are the implications? Well, what shall you do if your tomato is germinated? If your tomato seeds are germinated? Well, you can create a couple new tomato plants for fun. You can transplant them into soil, those little babies, and they will grow if you do it right. However, the tomatoes they produce will of course be different from the tomato variety you bought in the supermarket, but you can do it for fun. What you should probably not do it, oh, by the way, here I see the roots, look at that. So they did actually create a lot of visible roots. Well, what you should not do is eating them, because it seems some people got sick after eating germinated tomatoes. Yeah, I've noticed that in some other seeds, for example walnut seeds, when the walnut starts sprouting, the seeds becomes really disgusting and actually A sprouted walnut was basically the most disgusting thing I've ever eaten. Probably was also highly toxic. Well, eaten, I chewed on it and then spit it out and then spit for 20 more minutes. So I don't know if sprouted tomatoes are just as disgusting, but there are reports of people getting sick after eating them. So folks, if you see your tomato sprouting, well, first be happy that you saw something that you don't see every day. But then, yeah, basically this is about as bad as the tomato being moldy or rotten, because it's not really fit for human consumption anymore. So either throw it away or put it on the windowsill and let the little plants grow, or maybe transplant some of the little plants into a pot with soil and see what happens. Just don't eat it. Be glad that you saw a little wonder of nature. Don't eat it because you might get sick. Yeah, wonderful, interesting stuff. So folks, stay tuned for a lot more fruit videos from the beautiful tomato producing island of Gran Canaria. Yeah, tomato is the main product of Gran Canaria. And of course, don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe.